Welcome back. For those who've become convinced that the January 6th rioters have been treated much more harshly than the summer 2020 rioters, I have some news to report. A sentence handed down yesterday to a 2020 protester / rioter is tougher than almost all of those given to the January 6th folks. Let me be clear. I have long advocated for throwing the book at any rioters from 2020 or at the Capitol who engaged even in property damage. That's different from those who just, for example, trespassed. And I say that in both cases, right? Rioters, trespassing. I don't need the book thrown at those people. You engage in property damage, and particularly those who attack police, I want the book, period. And that's exactly what happened to Samantha Shader, a protester who pled guilty to throwing a Molotov cocktail at an NYPD van occupied by 4 cops at a May 2020 protest in Brooklyn. Now, thankfully, and this is relevant to her sentence, the bottle failed to ignite because, according to prosecutors, Shader tried to use toilet paper as a fuse instead of a rag. Nonetheless, Shader pled guilty to arson and was sentenced yesterday in a Brooklyn court. Shader even tried to goad a co-conspirator named Timothy Abrams into joining her. Abrams refused but pled guilty himself to a count of conspiracy to commit civil disorder back in March. He's awaiting sentencing. His crime for providing the glass bottles used in Shader's attack. Now, as part of her plea for leniency at yesterday's hearing, Shader's attorney claimed she didn't see the 4 officers in the vehicle when she threw the Molotov cocktail at the van. But Judge Dora Irizarry wasn't buying it. Quote, "There's just no way she could not have seen there were people in the vehicle," the judge told the defense attorney, scolding the lawyer at one point in the proceeding for speaking out of, quote, both sides of her mouth. Judge Irizarry sentenced Shader to 6 years for her attack on the police, and I applaud her for imposing at least that sentence. It's a vital message to send that we will not tolerate attacks on our men and women in law enforcement. It is a message I hope gets sent again in the coming days to Collingford Mattis and Aruj Rahman, 2 New York City attorneys who pled guilty to charges in connection with a separate May 2020 incident in Brooklyn in which they threw a Molotov cocktail at an empty, in that case, empty NYPD van. There is a difference. Rahman will be sentenced on Friday, while Mattis will learn his fate next month. Since the van was empty, prosecutors have recommended a sentence of 18 to 24 months. The judges in those cases are not bound to act on those recommendations, and I would support both defendants getting more time. Now, this should be a huge issue of concern for anyone who cares about our police officers. And I appreciate FBI Director Christopher Wray being vocal in wanting to see law enforcement officers in this country better protected.
Violence against law enforcement in this country is one of the biggest phenomenons that I think doesn't get enough attention. Last year, officers were being killed at a rate of almost 1 every 5 days.
So important to focus on this. If Samantha Shader had put a rag instead of toilet paper in that Molotov cocktail, the 4 officers in that van could very well have become part of that statistic. So I don't really care whether it's May of 2020 in Brooklyn or June of 2020 in Portland or January of 2021 in Washington. It doesn't matter to me as much what you're protesting. It doesn't matter to me whether you think your cause is just. It doesn't matter to me if you were supposedly egged on or goaded by others at the scene. What matters to me, above all, is did you or did you not attack our men and women in law enforcement? The politicized apologists on both sides of the political aisle need to cut it out. The January 6th rioters who attacked police have been getting sentences ranging from 18 months to 10 years, and they deserve every day of it. They attacked officers in hand-to-hand combat. But so do the 2020 rioters. It's not which protest that's the point. It's that the second you attack police, you've surrendered the moral high ground, and you deserve to be locked up for a very long time. And on this program, we are going to continue to highlight also the flip side, which is the heroism of police officers in this country that is often ignored in this country. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.